Hey guys, how you doing? Ray here again. If you'd like to subscribe to my channel, it's Nitro Kyosho. Well, I've been getting a tremendous amount of support from a lot of subscribers, and I appreciate it. I've been asked lately a lot of questions about how to get into these hobbies, where to start, what's this, what's that. So I've made countless videos in the past. I don't know if people are having trouble finding them on my channel or not. Some are older, some are newer. But I want to make another one here about beginning in this hobby and really try to help people understand what's what. So let's get started. Alright, well, this really set off a national craze, this little guy here. These came out back, I think, around 2005. These were called air hogs. You could get them at your local Walmarts. They were a blast, a lot of fun. This is an old one that I've had for a long time, and it still works. And they came basically with the helicopter and a 2-channel controller. Alright. Now, a 2-channel controller, guys, on here you have your throttle, up, down, and that's it. And over here, you only have the ability to turn either, to make this turn to the right or to make it turn to the left. You're probably wondering how you got these things to move. Well, how you got them to move was basically you weighted the nose, and the nose would make these just drift around. And you didn't have a whole lot of control with them, but they were a lot of fun. So basically you would lift it up off the ground, it would start to drift around, and you would just either turn it left or right. It's a 2-channel, took about 8 batteries in the back, and it had the charge port here in the front. But, there's a lot of good technology today to really bypass something like this. If you want to take a cheaper route getting into it, there's a variety of these. These are 3-channel helicopters. These are made by SEMA. I've seen these in countless malls around Christmas time, all over the place, even in CVS pharmacies. They're made by different companies, but they're basically all the same for the most part looking, and you can get them in different, this is like an Apache, which is very nicely detailed by SEMA. I've had this one. I bought these to bring to work to some of the guys to play around with at lunchtime. These are 3-channel helicopters, and basically what that means, alright, now you have the ability here is your throttle to bring it up, to bring it down. Now over here you have, on these you have the ability to fly forwards and fly in reverse. So far you can go up, you can go down, you can go forwards, and you can go in reverse. Now these don't have any ailerons. What is an aileron? Aileron is the ability to fly sideways, to be able to fly to the right and to be able to fly to the left. But these do have basically a rudder control on this side, and that means when you turn it to the right or you turn it to the left, you actually have the ability to control this to turn. So you can turn this, you can bring it off the ground with your throttle. You have the ability to point it in the direction you want it to go, and then the ability to fly in that direction or fly backwards or fly in circles. They're a lot of fun. The only thing I don't like about these is they could confuse you in the future, because generally an RC helicopter, which I'm going to show you the next one, is a 4-channel, and that's going to be the Blade MCX 2. Now these have a throttle here, so they can go up they can go down. Now your rudder, which I was explaining on the other helicopters, is on this side. The rudder is actually where it should be on this helicopter. It's on the left stick. So you can go up, you can go down, you can turn the helicopter. On this side, you can fly the helicopter forward, you can fly it in reverse, but you also have ailerons here, okay? So you have the ability to fly this to the right and to the left. So it's basically a full 4-channel setup. These are reasonably priced. You can get these around, I think, $89, $90. That will really get you orientated, guys, in this hobby, because the big helicopters I show you, the Align T-Rexes that I have, the 500 and the 450s and so on, the controls are the same as this. You're saying, well, why are those 6 channels and these are 4 channels? Well, those have the ability to do acrobatics and go upside down and so forth. But this has the exact identical controls that's going to control a T-Rex 450, 500, a Blade 450, a Blade 400, and so on. They're the same. Your throttle, up, down, your rudder to turn it, left to right, aileron to fly left, to fly to the right, and the ability with an elevator to fly, okay, forward and reverse. So just a recap. You have your throttle on this side. The throttle brings the helicopter up and it brings it down. The rudder turns the helicopter, okay, left or right, like a clock, turning. Don't get confused with a rudder and an aileron. Now the aileron over here is a stick that goes to the right and to the left. Now that makes the helicopter actually fly, not turn, fly to the right and fly to the left. And then your elevator, okay, is what's going to make you fly forward and what's going to make you fly in reverse. Now, you're probably saying, well, there's a million different ways to get in this hobby, and how much is it going to cost me? Well, I have big professional helicopters. I fly in fields and I enjoy them. I still enjoy these little helicopters. They're a lot of fun, and I don't think they're a waste of money because you can play around in the house with them. Now, if you really want to get into a hobby, you got to ask yourself a couple of questions. One, do I want to spend a ton of money? Do you want to go out and buy $1,000, invest $1,000 to $1,500 on a T-Rex helicopter setup without knowing anything about it? No. I don't recommend that. That's insane, because you might not even like it after a week or two. I recommend strongly to start with something like this. An E-Flite Blade MCX2. Okay, because this is going to give you your orientations. Alright? The difference between this and the difference between a T-Rex helicopter, guys, is the ability of the speed and how quickly it's going to move and react. So you want to be able to get this thing to fly around, and then you also want this thing, you want to have the ability to fly it forwards and sideways and every which way and get your orientation. Because when a helicopter faces you guys, your controls are now reversed. Alright? Forwards is backwards, backwards is forwards, left is right, right is left. You really have to get all your orientations down before you progress in the hobby and you move on. You will get bored with this thing probably rather quickly, depending how much you practice with it and you progress. Others might take longer. This is a good second helicopter, or even possibly a good first one. This is E-Flite Blade 120 SR. Now, this is a rare breed of a helicopter, because this helicopter here, guys, has the ability to hover like this kind of a helicopter where you can actually put the controller down and watch it. Alright? But when it starts to move around, it has the ability to move around almost like a low budget, like a Blade 400. It has the ability to turn and do the banking and everything like that. Now, you can't do 3D with it, obviously acrobatics, but this really handles like a big helicopter. But it gives you the hovering ability to get started like something like this. Now on the swash plates, they give you two settings where you can actually pop these links off, and you can put them on different settings, and that's going to give you more ability to move this thing around, more agility, and that's something you do when you advance. Now, one thing I like about E-flite, every helicopter company is going to have its problems and defective things, and everything comes out of China, and that's the name of the game. The nice thing about E-flite is most hobby shops around the country carry parts readily available. They don't carry parts for SEMA, they don't carry parts for Sky, they don't carry parts for Exceed, they don't carry parts for all those off-brand names, you know, like this. So you're held hostage with only a few companies online with very high expensive shipping costs and very bad customer service that handles these type of helicopters. So you're really held hostage. If you invest in E-flite, you know, you can walk into generally any hobby shop and get parts. And that says something, because you ask yourself, well, why does you know, every hobby shop in the United States carry E-flite and Align parts, but they don't carry Exceed helicopters or Sky helicopters or SEMA helicopters or Dynam or all those off, you know, generic brand helicopters? There's a reason why. Now, a helicopter like this one, or this is an advanced model. This is a E-flite Blade MCPX. Now, this one really has the ability to handle like a T-Rex 450. This actually will fly and handle like one in the air. And it has the ability to do the acrobatics and everything. I don't really recommend this as a first helicopter. I mean, you could fly it, but you'd be better off with an MCX2 and then to a 120 SR and then one to these. I've been asked other questions also. They said, Ray, could I buy a T-Rex 500 or a 450 and put it on the shelf, buy a simulator, and strictly learn on the simulator? Well, I think it could be very well possible, guys, to learn on only a sim and then go right to a helicopter. But you need somebody working with you. You need to make sure that helicopter has been built properly, has been set up properly, that your servos are working properly, your gyro, your controller is set up properly, you've got the right batteries, they're charged properly, the connections are right, the blade pitch is right, your swash is set up right. There's a lot of setup on helicopters, and if you have no knowledge of them, you're getting yourself into a world of trouble. Now, these type of helicopters here, they'll come in two versions. They'll come as a ready to fly, which means they have everything in the box you need to fly, or they'll come as a bind and fly, which means they'll come with everything but the controller. And you'll bind it to their figure, and you've got other helicopters, and you'll bind it to your DX6i or DX8, DX7, you know, any Spectrum DSM2 controller. They come with a variety of different batteries, different sizes. This is a 3.7 500 milliamp for the 120. The smaller helicopter, the MCX, runs at a 3.7. The batteries usually will run at anywhere from $6 to $10. Like I said, I believe in bypassing 3-channel and 2-channel helicopters. Go right for a 4-channel. You'll be able to fly and handle that thing and have a blast. They also come with chargers that look like this to charge. or they have different charger styles like this one. Before you go to a large helicopter like Blade 400s and 450s and T-Rexes and all that, you know, I recommend a simulator. I use the Phoenix simulator during the winter time here in New England, and that keeps me fresh. And it's a lot of fun to be able to go through all the different helicopters and airplanes and just have a blast. And I think simulators are just about dead on. I mean, I learned without one, and then I found them to use them in the off season to keep fresh, and I would have to say they're dead on, guys. They're just about dead on about as far as real flying goes. So anyways, you know, I hope this answers some of your questions out there. Like I said, these are the ones, the helicopters I believe in, the E-Flight ones and the Align company. There's a lot of pop-up companies out there. There are other, you know, good quality companies, don't get me wrong. There's the Raves and the Thunder Tigers, and there's a lot of good companies out there, but E-Flight really has the smaller helicopters market cornered, okay? As far as big helicopters, I like Align. It'll be exciting someday when they make something like an MCPX Align. Align already copied the E-Flight MSR, so they're trying to break into the smaller market too. But the keys to E-Flight is they give you the stages to help you learn, whether it's an MCX2 to a 120SR to an MCPX to a Blade, the new Blade 450s. Or you could go to a line. You know, it's up to you. But simulators, guys, are the keys to success. And, you know, if you wanted to invest in something like this, you're talking maybe $180 for everything. And then a simulator with a DX5, maybe $160. So you get into the hobby pretty cheap. You fly this thing, you enjoy it. These are very durable helicopters. They can take a beating like you wouldn't believe if you're smart with them. You're not flying them into brick walls. But you can bring these things up 100 feet and drop them, and they don't even sustain any damage if you're on grass. So I hope that you learned a little something about channels, what a channel is. Remember, there's 2 movements per channel, okay? You have, this is your throttle, up, down is 1 channel, rudder, left, right, 2 channels, elevator, forward, reverse, 3rd channel, and aileron, right, left, 4th channel. Okay, that's what a channel is. A channel, there's 2 movements per channel. That's how you get 4 channels. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you'd like to subscribe to my